Hi guys, it's Chris, and it is Friday, and this week on Gen Rolls Are Dead we're talking about religion and how that may or may not relate to your identity. If you fall in the LGBTQ spectrum, how it may have related to you coming out, or just your personal views about it in general, religion. I'm recording on my camera this week instead of my laptop, so hopefully this is a little better quality, but that also means that I'm going to be a little more awkward because I can't see myself. I don't have necessarily like a ton to say about religion. I'm not a religious person. I find religion to be completely fascinating. It's one of my favorite things to learn about. I even like religious discussions. Though I don't personally identify as religious, I do know quite a bit about religion because of certain like courses I've taken in high school and college, because I think it's like really fascinating to learn about other religions. And also I know a lot about Christianity from an art history standpoint, which again, like, I think it's totally fascinating. So I've had many a late night conversation about religion. I'm always open to talk about it. I just don't personally identify as religious, and I think this is mostly just because I was always really bad at the whole blind faith thing, and I asked a lot of questions, and those don't necessarily go hand in hand with just like believing. I guess I'm a bit of a skeptic, and also the older I got, my like lifestyle didn't really go hand in hand with all of these teachings that I was having thrown at me, being that I lived in Central Texas, very, very southern, conservative Christian area of the country. I was raised Southern Baptist, which is pretty conservative, and like my family's pretty religious. My parents and stuff, a little bit less so than my grandparents. When I was younger, we went to church more, but it kind of faded out. My grandmother is very, very religious, so she was someone I was actually really terrified to come out to. We never really discussed me being queer, because I came out as like a lesbian before I came out as trans. Pretty much everybody in my family assumed that I was gay, because I looked like this for a while. And that was just their assumption, so I never really had to come out, but we just didn't talk about it in front of my grandma, just because she's just this conservative Republican Baptist, but she is the greatest woman ever, and though we didn't discuss it, she has always been so loving. And then when I came out as trans, she's actually been fairly accepting. I don't know that she necessarily understands it, but she's trying. Like, called Courtney the other day, and when she was hanging up was like, "Tell Chris I love him." And like that coming from my grandma, who like goes to church every Sunday and like still has some really closed-minded beliefs about like other people because of the time that she was raised in. I mean, she was born in like the 30s, so like she's grown up in a very different world than I have, but she's definitely trying. So that kind of opened my eyes to like, I had this expectation of how she was going to take things, and she just kind of like has like transcended those. I don't know if that's exactly the right word I was looking for, but so that was good. It's always good when things like that like pleasantly surprise you. My other experiences with religion and like coming out, personally, like my mom leans on religion a lot when she's having a tough time, and so when I came out as gay, and then especially when I came out as trans, there's been a lot more talk of prayer and a lot more talk of needing a sign from God and stuff like that. And for her, that's fine. Like if she needs that as like a crutch or something to like help her, that's great. I will never look down on anybody for needing religion, for looking to religion. Everybody has their things that they look to and that give them strength. So I hope that those things help my mom as she like learns to accept these things. Mostly my experience with religion and being queer has not been overly negative. The worst of it was with an ex-girlfriend Her parents were Catholic. She was raised Catholic. So when she came out to them, they essentially disowned her. As much as you can disown someone who has lived on their own since they were 18 and paid all their own bills and stuff, but like, she talked to them every day on the phone, and it like became a very estranged relationship, and it was one of the toughest things I've ever had to deal with, as an adult and as a queer person and in a relationship. Just the amount of hate that came out of these people that loved my ex was just it was hard. And it was something that we had to deal with, and something that eventually actually like wore on us so much that the relationship completely died. Like, that was one of the biggest things, and I think that she grew to resent me because of this thing. And obviously she's still gay, and her parents have come around a little bit, and it's really unfortunate that that's the way that things played out, but it was really tough. And so if you're ever in that position, like, I mean, we woke up every morning to like long, lengthy emails from her dad, like citing the Bible and calling us abominations and those sort of things. I guess you just kind of either have to like learn to block his email and like stop even letting it into your life, or like take it as an opposing point of view and try to understand that people are going to disagree, and that doesn't make them right and doesn't make you right. It just means that you're people and you all have your own point of views. Or you can take another stance, which a lot of people will do, and try to argue with someone and change their point of view, but religion is something that's very hard to change people's point of views about. And even if you really disagree, I've found, and this is my stance about most things, like, live and let live. Even when people are being hateful and awful, just at the end of the day, you will never regret like taking the high road, maybe, and like still being accepting and respectful and loving of everybody, even if they are being closed-minded and they are being hard on you and they are being hateful. That's my point of view on most things, actually. I mean, don't take that as don't stand up for yourself. Don't take that as don't respect yourself. Always be confident. Always be proud. But there's just so much hate in the world, and a lot of it can stem from religion, and I think that's where a lot of my negative, like, stigma that I attach to religion comes from. But there are a lot of good religious people too. Just like every type of person, there are good and bad of every type of person. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but personally, my experience with religion and being queer has been good and has been bad, as has my experience with most things in this world. And you just gotta take things for what they are. And yeah, sometimes people will surprise you, and don't discount someone just because they might have a point of view that you assume is going to be bad, because people will always surprise you. And that's the great thing about life.